Hello, my beautiful weirdos. You remember Mythbusters? Well, we're gonna bust a myth today. Not Bigfoot or the Loch Ness Monster, which I actually did my speech on in my public debate class in college, but an even more popular urban legend, which is, my town is boring and there's nothing to do here. Maybe you've heard people say it, maybe you say it, maybe you believe it, maybe you have said it recently, but today we're going to get really honest, lovingly honest, about what's actually behind that statement, because the thing is that your town isn't actually boring. You are just afraid. Now, I'm not saying this with judgment. I'm saying it with compassion of somebody who's been there. I now run a joy-based brand out of a place that a lot of people would never look twice at. I live in Baltimore, okay? This is a town where literally last night I saw somebody doing stand-up and there was a clip and he's not from here and he was he was talking about how he was downtown and he saw a woman get robbed out of her Honda while she was running through like the most popular part of our town, and then he picked up a t-shirt from a gift shop and the slogan on it is a big rainbow with Baltimore on it, and the slogan says, "There's more than just murder here." And he's like, where am I? So I really do get what it's like to be from a town where, I mean, maybe there's more amenities, maybe there's less, maybe there's a horrible rap, maybe it's small, I don't know. But I just want to anchor this idea actually with a blog post that I wrote, God, it was almost a decade ago. It was in 2016, maybe 2015. And it was after somebody commented on another article that I wrote, and they wrote, well, depends where you are and whom you are, it sucks to be me. Because they were kind of implying that because I lived in Baltimore, it was easy for me to have fun and have friends and all of these things. And I wrote back to them and I said, where do you live? You know, where do you live? I want you to give me an hour and I will find stuff for you to do. It was kind of like an assignment for me. And I wanted to see firsthand if it was actually as hard as they were making it sound. And I also was really hoping that I could prove them wrong. So when they wrote back to me, I was like, oh, great. It was literally an extremely small town in South Dakota, which is a already very non-populated place in the States. And the town was like one of those towns where you can see the population when you drive in. It's like, we have like 400 people living here, you know? And they just couldn't really see how it was possible to find joy and connection and events or even a friend in their town. And when I first got the assignment of the town, I was like, ooh, this one's going to be hard. But I did digging, and I told them to give me an hour, and it did end up taking me 90 minutes, but I focused, and I found 80 things that they could do within an hour of their house within the next 6 weeks. And it was like ghost towns and knitting clubs and rock climbing and karaoke, and that was before I even knew their interests. And the reason that I did that was because I knew the issue wasn't really their town. It was their perception. It was their fear. And that's what we're digging into today. By the way, I'm going to be going over a lot of tips and resources and links and tools in this episode, and everything that I say is going to be all written out for you as bonuses inside of the replay of this episode in The Positive Pulse, which is my free, completely free community of, right now we have over 550 people, and maybe some of them are even in your town, and you're also going to unlock over 170 other free resources the moment that you join. So head over to uncustomary.org/pp and grab your bonuses, and you don't have to worry about like taking notes, okay? So when we say there's nothing here for me, what are we actually saying? Sometimes it's projection, sometimes it's fear of rejection, sometimes it's resistance to the discomfort of being seen, or even the scarier possibility that something might actually work out. We say that we want change, but when it gets close, suddenly we are tired, we're busy, we convince ourselves that joy is only available somewhere else, right? That therapy is only going to help somebody else. It's not going to help me. I'm too broken for that. It's going to need to be some sort of really complicated fix for me to feel better. And that the cool events only happen in LA and New York and Austin, and that the people here are too close-minded. But the thing is that when we say my town is boring, we're actually really very often protecting ourselves from the vulnerability of actually trying. But have you tried? What if you did try and it worked out? What if you did find community? What if you found a doctor who listened? What if you went on a date that went well? What if you went to a local art class that sparked something in you? And what if that actually changed everything? That's not boring. It's actually maybe terrifying, because it would mean that you'd have to keep going. You'd have to keep showing up, and you'd have to keep being brave. So let's walk through a reflection process. Maybe you want to grab your journal right now or just think through these with me. What do you say that you want more of right now? What do you complain about your area lacking in resources? Is it friends? Is it therapy? Is it support resources for a specific illness or condition? Is it adventure? Is it play? Like, what is it? So name that. And then what's the story that you're telling yourself about why you can't have that here? Is it that there is no one? Is it that no one's open-minded? Is it that no one's like you? Is it that everyone doesn't know what they're talking about, that people are uneducated? You know, like what is it that the reason that you can't have it is? Like, what is the belief? And then I want you to go deeper. So let's say that like we wave a magic fairy godmother wand, and all of a sudden that thing fully appears overnight. You read the newspaper tomorrow morning, if there is a newspaper, you read an online headline and it says, "This thing is here. It's exactly what you want. It's down the street. You can get there in 1 minute, and it's exactly what you wanted." Or the exact perfect friend shows up at your door. Literally, they just show up at your door. If you find friends, would you have to now practice being vulnerable? If you find the perfect doctor, would you now have to face your health and your diagnosis and what goes along with that? If you found a fun event, would you have to go alone? If someone invited you to something, would you know how to say yes? And then I want you to think about what you are more afraid of. Not finding anything at all, or finding exactly what you said you wanted. Because more often than not, it's the second one. And that's okay, it's human. The fear of success is really, really more common than the fear of failure. We get comfortable in not having stuff. We get comfortable in misery. It's like how depression feels familiar, you know? That's kind of what it's like to say, well, I can't have this because I live in this town, right? And then we use that as a crutch. But once you name it and the secondary benefits and the fears that come along with it, you can work with it. So let's get practical about how to actually find stuff. If you're ready to search, if you're ready to be willing to be vulnerable and deal and move past all of this, let's get really specific, because the good news is that tools do exist and the internet is wild. Like, you are in the perfect time to find stuff, even if you're in a small town. The internet is your weird, beautiful friend. That's how you found this in the first place, right? So for finding local events and resources, and again, remember, these are all listed out for you on the Positive Pulse bonus list. Meetup.com is great for niche interests and recurring groups. Facebook events, just type in your city name and click on the events tab. Eventbrite, you can use your zip code and keywords like free, craft, queer, live music. Reddit, look for city-specific subreddits like r/Baltimore or r/AskLocal. Patch.com has local news with events, town halls, and community classes. Libraries are incredible resources, and also community center websites. These are hidden gems. One of my favorite things is Roadside America and Atlas Obscura. They have these strange hidden treasures, and you don't need anyone else to go with you. You just find something near you and go explore. And also, don't make the mistake of just going to Google and typing in fun things to do. I mean, you can if you want to just do stuff on your own, but I want you to try typing in your zip code and then free events this weekend, your zip code, and then mental health resources, your zip code, and then queer artist meetup, your zip code or your town name, and then community Facebook group. I want you to get on Facebook and then type in the keyword of what you're looking for and then toggle over to groups and look there and then join the group and then search. You do need to put in legwork work to find stuff, you know? You have to look. You have to be exhaustive in this search. Think about what people were doing before the internet. They had to go out and look on foot in the car. And now you have the luxury of being able to do that from your couch. But don't be lazy about it. You do still have to look. And it's not that hard. You just have to try. Now, if there's still nothing in your zip code, then you can expand to nearby towns. And if you don't even know what those nearby towns are, then just go to Google Maps, type in your town, and then expand out and look for the towns that are listed like in bigger letters, because those are going to be the like bigger cities. Or you can type in your city name that's on your mailing address and type in big cities near and then include your town name. Set your search radius to maybe 50 to 100 miles. Travel is a part of living joyfully sometimes, okay? Don't let the fact that you might need to go a little farther to enjoy your life limit you. And yeah, sometimes the thing that you want will require leaving town. It's not a failure, it's an opportunity. And I know I'm going to get pushback immediately for this due to chronic illness, pain, and car and driving restrictions. So I want to help you prep for it. And I'm going to give you a couple tips here. But again, inside of the Positive Pulse, there's like a full list of ideas and tips for traveling with chronic illness and pain and looking for alternatives for not having a car and traveling without a car, okay? So if you're traveling with chronic illness and pain, you want to plan in layers. So what time of day is your energy best? You can pack your support gear like your meds, your snacks, your fidgets, your headphones, and then also make sure to plan in recovery time after the event. It's also probably really good to travel with someone. If you don't have a car or you have driving restrictions, you can check if your city has rideshare assistance programs or paratransit services or community shuttles. You can also look into Facebook groups for rideshares or Reddit threads that have carpool buddies or churches and nonprofits that have transportation assistance. And for public transit, you can use apps like Moovit, Moovit, Transit, or Google Maps Transit Mode. And don't be afraid to call ahead to a venue and just say, what's the easiest way to get here without a car? Now, if you are scared to go alone or you're just looking to meet more friends, I mean, let's do that. Making friends can feel like trying to adopt a unicorn sometimes, but there are people looking just like you. We are in a community deficit right now of isolation. So let's make more friends as adults. Here are some tools for finding friends. Bumble BFF. It's an app. It's like Tinder, but it's not for dating. It's just for making friends. There's also something called Hey Vina, Vina, and it's for women. It's a women-focused friend app. There's also meetup groups. You can go to one regularly, just like on meetup.com or Facebook groups. I mean, just go meet people in person, like how I host Operation Merriment or the Mixers even online. This is where you can meet people. Or we can start making like a geographical thread on Positive Pulse and we can start figuring out like where you guys are meeting, but you have to be active. It's just trying, right? We all say that we want more connection, but like how active are you even in the Positive Pulse? You know what I mean? Like, are you looking for friends? Are you searching for people? Are you saying where you're from? Are you even filling out your profile and saying like what your city is? Because otherwise people can't find you. You have to be open enough. You can't say that you want friends and then not even put in your profile location. You know what I mean? And then again, I said like Facebook groups, there's so many, even just in Baltimore, even though it's like it's not a huge city. It's not a big thing, but there's plenty of Facebook groups that are like Baltimore creatives. And there's also groups that are specific about a thing, you know, an interest or an experience. And those might not be specific to a location, but they also might be. So for example, you might have like fibromyalgia support, or it might be Baltimore fibromyalgia support, right? Or DIY events or anything. And on Reddit, there's meet people or city specific groups. And just remember that sometimes happiness starts solo. And it's also really good for you to go out and do things alone, but it's really just important to get out of your house. And going alone doesn't mean that you're going to stay alone. In fact, when you go out to things, you're going to meet the right people because they're already doing the thing that you want to do. They're going to be like-minded. Now, if you're still thinking, okay, but like seriously, you haven't been to my small town in South Dakota and I don't want to go rock climbing or whatever, like my town is really boring. I want you to reframe this. Okay, fine, it's boring. But what if boring isn't a curse? What if it's an invitation? What if boring is just a synonym for familiar? I was at my bank yesterday and their whole marketing is, we've been boring since 1902 or whenever they opened. And I thought, that's really good marketing. You know, you want your bank to be boring. You want your tax accountant to be boring. You know, there's certain aspects of things that are actually really nice to be boring and familiar and stable. There's actually parts of my relationship that are boring in a really nice way. You know, I dress in really crazy outfits when I go out. And one time I asked Matt, what's your favorite thing to see me wear? And he thought about it and he said, I like it when you're here at home and you're wearing like your pajamas and those little cardigan sweaters and stuff. And I laughed and I said, what? That is by far the least interesting thing I wear. And he goes, yeah, I know, but it's because like you wear it here and you're really comfortable and nobody else gets to see you wear it. And you don't have makeup on and your hair's up and it's different and it's you still. It's not that when I go out, it's not me. I'm being able to express myself in all these different avenues. And I think that's a really Gemini thing maybe, but he gets to see a part of me that other people don't really get to see. And that maybe is boring, but is it also not just trusting and familiar? I digress, but if boring could be a synonym for familiar, what if all you need is a new lens? So you could try to imagine, what if you were only allowed to explore your 1 block radius where you live for the rest of your life? What if there was like, I mean, not a curse, but you know, like some sort of weird predicament as a thought exercise where you were only allowed to have that 1 block, you like those little dog fences where they can't go past it. Like that was you could only go for 1 block for the rest of your life. How could you make that the most joyful, weird, artful place possible? I mean, maybe at first you would be really sad, but if you really took advantage of it, you would start to notice every little cranny, every little wonder of every little paint chip, every crevice, every leaf. And maybe you could start a sidewalk chalk project and decorate stop signs with googly eyes and build a little free library and host a front porch concert and invite people to you. I also think that boring isn't necessarily real. It's this like mindset and its potential waiting for you to say yes. So if you want to accept it, here is your challenge. Do one slightly rebellious, slightly vulnerable thing in your zip code this week. Try something new, go somewhere different, talk to someone unexpected, and look again for that resource that you swore didn't exist. Because we just keep getting more advanced, more technologically savvy, more things keep popping up, whether they're online or in person. Try again, turn over a different rock, and then come back and tell me what happened. You can tag me at Merriment Maker or send me a message in the Positive Pulse app. Let's fill our maps with wonder, 1 zip code at a time. And if you want a recap of everything we covered today, you'll find that full list of bonuses inside the Positive Pulse with tools for finding events in your zip code, apps and websites for making new friends, public transit and ride solutions, travel tips for chronic illness and energy pacing, search tricks to uncover hidden gem locations, journaling prompts to identify what's really holding you back, creative ways to make your block the most joyful place on earth, this week's Rebellious Joy Challenge. And it's all waiting for you inside the Positive Pulse, and you can join free at uncustomary.org/pp. Remember that joy isn't waiting in some far-off magical city. It's right here. It's just waiting for you to stop scrolling and start showing up. You have to feel good to do good, babe. And sometimes you have to get uncomfortable to feel good. I'll see you next week. I love you.